Welcome, everyone, to this presentation about the Media Technology Master of Science program at Leiden University. My name is Maarten Lamers. I am a lecturer and researcher at Leiden University, and I work for the Media Technology program. With me are two other people. One is Edwin van der Heide, who is also, like me, a lecturer and researcher in the Media Technology program. And I have here Zoe Breed. And Zoe is a second-year student in our program. Thank you for being here. I want to tell you a little bit in this presentation about the Media Technology program. And let's start off with what it really is. It's a program in which we teach you a lot about actual scientific research. And very importantly, we do this in such a way that you, as a student, get to define your own research projects. So you get to study topics, you get to research things that you want to research, not things that we determine that you need to research. It's things that you really can choose yourself. For that, it's very important that students work from their own personal inspiration and creativity. And to basically allow that, we take students to media arts festivals. We show them very conceptual, playful, and inspiring examples of academia and arts. We also send students to conferences to present their research. But mainly, if a student does their own research project on a topic that they find interesting, we find it very important that they are autonomous, that they have the qualities, the technical skills, that they master the technology to do so. That's why we teach our students how to make, for example, interactive installations, how to create things like experimental equipment, computer stuff that interacts with the real world. Now, that's what we aim to achieve. That's what the program is about. But it's also very important to understand basically some, let's say, basic facts about the program. And it's organized by the Leiden Institute of Advanced Computer Science, which is the Computer Science Institute of Leiden University. And this program has existed since 2001 and has always been a collaboration with the Royal Academy of Arts in the city of The Hague, which is very close to Leiden, and the Royal Conservatoire, which is the Royal School of Music in The Hague. So these three programs collaborate very strongly in the Media Technology program. It's a 2-year master program, very important. It's not a 1-year master program. It's a full-time program, meaning that students who are enrolled in the program are expected to be available for study in full-time. And the whole program is in English. As a result, we have quite many international students. It differs a little bit per year, but it differs somewhere between 30 and 50% of our students are non-Dutch, are internationals. Let me ask Zoe quickly. Zoe, in your group of students, in your year, how many internationals were there roughly? Do you know?
I think also about 40-50%.
Okay.
So indeed, like half maybe, I think, of the class.
Yeah. And how is it? Does it integrate well, or how does that work?
Yeah, it really does. Like, we're really like a close group, and I think like it's the beauty that there are so much international people, because we have a really diverse group, but still we're super like close to each other. We hang out all the time, so yeah.
Yeah. I think what I see as a lecturer is that the student population is very, open to each other, very accepting, and very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
Yeah.
nice to hear. Thank you, Zoe. With regards to the gender ratio, it's also interesting to see that even though we're in a computer science institute that generally has more male students, the Media Technology Master of Science program always has a 50-50 gender balance. That's not something we control, that's something that happens. And our population is not very big. We accept roughly 25 to 35 students per year, but we do not have a maximum. So we accept anyone who is suitable for the program, who understands what the program is about, can be admitted into the program, and who meets the criteria, of course. And we'll talk a little bit more about these criteria later in this presentation. Well, I think you should know already that if you complete the program successfully, you are awarded with a Master of Science degree from Leiden University. Now, let's move into what the program, how it is organized. What happens when you're a student in the program? Well, the first year of studying media technology is really about doing compulsory courses. And we have quite many compulsory courses. All these courses that you see here are courses from the first year of a media technology student. And we broadly categorize them in 4 categories: conceptual skills in media, academic skills, what does it mean to be a scientist, technical skills, things like hardware and physical computing, where you work with Arduinos to connect computers to the real world and actually make interactive installations, but also courses relating to the human context of technology. Now, many of these courses, not only these, deal with technology, so most of them have a technological component. And I'd like to ask Edwin van der Heide, who is here with me, to tell a little bit about the 2 courses that he organized, that he teaches within this list. Edwin.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about the Strategies in Creative and Performing Arts course. A bit of a complicated title, but it's a course in which we look at what approaches, what strategies are taking in the making of art. Yeah, why creative and performing arts? Actually, because we really want to cover all art forms, from visual arts, music, to other forms of performing arts, and even literature. And we believe that these strategies are interesting to study, because these are strategies that we can also apply in the scientific context. And at the same time, we see that not only in research questions are being asked, but also in the arts questions are being asked that actually result in the arts, often in artworks, but questions that are equally meaningful in a scientific context.
So this course really is on the boundary between sciences and arts.
Absolutely, yeah. So the course really builds bridges between the arts and the sciences, between the arts, let's say, and academic research.
Yeah. What about the sound, space, and interaction course that you teach?
Yeah, so the sound, space, interaction course is a course in which, we combine 3 things, and that makes it a complex course. But I think 3 things that are very important. Yeah. Sound, because sound as a way to communicate. Yeah, so in the course you are actually asked to develop your own sonic language. And what do I mean with sonic language? As we learn from music, we can use sound to communicate information in abstract ways. Yeah? We don't need to copy things from the real world. We can create our own sonic languages and nevertheless communicate. And I think it's a very important skill for students to learn that. Also, and even more and more, I would say, we are interacting with screens. Yeah, so we see the human-computer interaction and information visualization course, but very much focused on screen-based interaction, and using screens to operate computers, but also screens to communicate with each other. And the sound-space interaction course is really focusing on space, and space as physical space, also digital space, as a means to experiment with different forms of interaction.
And this course has a big practical component as well, right? It's not like only theory. Most of the course is actually making something as a student. Is that correct?
Yeah. So like many of the courses, you really have to make your own project.
Yeah.
But it's, first of all, you have to develop your own concept. What do you want to do? What do you want to address? How do you want to relate yourself to the topic?
Yeah.
And from there, you build your own project.
So, for example, in the sound, space, and interaction course, that would mean that students are asked to make an interactive sound work, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it can have many different forms.
Yeah.
But sure, it has to meet the criteria. And
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, Edwin already mentioned it, that many of the courses in the program have a practical component where you as a student create something. Now, so these are the compulsory courses in the first year that you see here, but there's more in the first year, because there's also a single big project in the first year, and that is known as the course is called Exhibition Science to Experience. And the word exhibition already says it a little bit. It's a course in which students in small groups of 3 work towards a public exhibition, to exhibit a work that they create in a public exhibition. For this, we work together with various galleries over time. For example, the V2 gallery in Rotterdam, but also other ones that we've worked with. And every year we organize a public exhibition that is visited by many people, for which students create basically an experience for an audience. And actually, I'm going to ask Zoe. Zoe, so you have participated in this course last year, in your first year.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about it?
Yeah, so what we basically do in this course is you choose a scientific insight and you try to translate that to the public. So for my project and with my 2 other teammates, I chose cross-modality. And cross-modality is basically the concept of that your senses are interlinked with each other. So if you experience one thing with one sense, it also translates to your other sense. And we try to create like a kind of test lab environment for that. And you can see that here, like we made some jellies that the participants could eat while listening to music and using all kinds of weird spoons. So basically we created like a project where the user could experience cross-modality for themselves. And this was done in V2 in Rotterdam. But now later, a week ago, we also went to Nacht van Ontdekkingen to it. That's a festival at night in Leiden in Hortus. And so I think it's really cool that you cannot only use your project only for the course, but we also, broadcasted it outside, like for the general public to
And
see.
if I look at these images here on the screen, I see the setup that you used. You were invited for this night of discovery here in Leiden. It was set up apparently in the Hortus Botanicus, the famous plant garden of Leiden University, one of the oldest ones in the world. And if I look on the right image, there's quite a big line of a general public, a general audience wanting to experience your work.
There was constantly a line of people just waiting to experience our project, so that was really cool.
In a way, that's quite successful, your installation.
Yeah,
Very nice.
It really was.
Very nice. Thank you very much. And okay, so this way of working, this making students, having students create installations, experiences, projects, is something that's very fundamental in the media technology program. But it doesn't stop there. Obviously, you need to gain knowledge as well. And one of the things that happens in the second year, so the second year starts with a semester, a half year, in which students do courses of their choice. And there's two methodologies for choosing a course. One is known as the accent courses. These are courses that we organize, and a student chooses several of these courses. These courses are computational creativity, artificial intelligence, social technologies, which is about how technology shapes social life, social signal processing, which is about how computers can process social signals of humans, and scientific narration and visualization. Now, let me go back to Zoe. Zoe, you are now at the start of your second year.
Yeah.
So I assume that you're doing some accent courses.
Yeah.
Can you tell us which ones?
Yeah, I'm doing two. The first two, computational creativity and artificial intelligence.
And computational creativity is about?
It's basically about the philosophical part of computational creativity, like can a computer be creative? But also really the practical part that you, like the end project is that you develop your own computational creative system.
So you create a computer system that exhibits creative behavior.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So these are accent courses. You see them here in the green column, basically, on the screen, on the presentation. But there's also in the second year, so in the first half of the second year, students specialize themselves by having a completely free choice of elective courses. And elective courses are really, it's where students really choose from their personal perspective things that they want to learn. And we always say that anything is possible. These courses can be from within Leiden University, so not only from the Media Technology Department, but also from other departments, psychology, the Creative and Performing Arts Academy that we have, maybe from the humanities or from the physics or computer science, but it can also be from outside Leiden University, at different universities, either in the Netherlands or even outside the Netherlands. There's no list of courses that students can choose from because it's really open. They can find courses themselves anywhere they want and do them. But some examples example courses that students have chosen in the past are, for example, a course on video games for research, how to use video games for research purposes, or cognitive psychology courses, game design courses, machine learning, robotics, philosophy, science communication and journalism, etc., etc. You can understand that if the choice is very open, many things could apply there. Now, so these elective courses and accent courses are basically the first half of the second year of being a Media Technology Master of Science student. And once you have completed these, it's time to do your own personal research. Every student is asked to come up with an academic research, a study, into their own personal scientific question. Whatever it is they find interesting, we ask them to study that, to really do an academic research there. The student is the boss of that research. They come up with the question themselves. It can be about music. It can be about anything they want. And but they're helped by two thesis advisors. One is always from within the program, someone like me or Edwin or one of our other colleagues. And another one is generally from outside the program. Maybe someone from within Leiden University, but very often also someone internationally renowned in the field. Now, this research often involves a student constructing something, like a tool or an installation or technology to study the question that they want to study. And it's also very important to realize that we do not ask students to write a big, lengthy thesis of, let's say, over 100 pages, but we ask them to write a short scientific style paper. That means that these papers can be submitted to international conferences and journals for publication. And many of our students actually do publish their work at conferences. Now, to prepare for this graduation work, students also attend the so-called graduation lab. It's a small course that students have to do to prepare for this. You know, it takes you through the process of coming up basically with a project ID. Now, let's look at an example project by one of our students, a graduation project. And that student is Daphne Wongafu. And Daphne was an international student who joined the media technology program in 2019 and graduated in 2021. You see her here in the presentation. She's signing the walls of Leiden University, which is a centuries-old tradition here at Leiden University. If you graduate here, you're allowed to sign your name on the walls. Daphne was born and raised in the country of Suriname in South America. And she within the, let's say, ethnic Javanese community in Suriname. And as such, she was fascinated with one of their cultural traditions, which is the Yaran Kapang dance. It's a dance form in which the dancers reach a form of trance. And Daphne realized that it's very difficult to study trance and effects of trance in dancers. But she started looking for ways to use biophysical signals to do that. And she found a study from other researchers that studied dissociative identity disorder, a psychological condition that was studied by other researchers using EEG measurements. And she realized that this methodology could also be applied to dance. Now, there is a very personal and novel aspect here. This really relates to Daphne's personal interest in the Yaran Kapang dance that she has had for all her life. But it's also very novel because she realized, she came up with the idea to use basically a brain interface, EEG technology, technology that captures brain signals from outside the skull, to study this phenomenon of trance in dance. And this is a very nice graduation project. It was very novel and very interesting. In fact, immediately after her graduation, Daphne was asked by the Cultural Anthropology Department of Leiden University to enter their PhD program, and she's now doing PhD research in cultural anthropology after doing the Media Technology Master of Science program. Now, Daphne is one of our students. You've met Zoe already, another one of our students. But let's take a quick look at the type of students that we attract or the type of students that are in our program. They're generally people with an academic or scientific interest. Not only that, they also have technical affinity. They like to build stuff. They like to learn to build stuff. They want to build stuff, create interactive installations. But not just only for the making, we train conceptual and critical thinkers. People who are not afraid of new ideas, not afraid to create stuff, but are still critical of the role of technology, maybe, or the role of academia, and want to learn more about that. That's the type of student that enters the media technology program. Now, about entering the media technology program, how does that work? Well, the admission procedure, let's first, before the admission procedure, first understand that we are open to all different bachelor studies. So you need a bachelor degree to enter the program, but it can be a bachelor degree in many different fields. We have accepted students with bachelors in philosophy, in creative and performing arts, in visual arts, in computer scientists, interaction designers, programmers, psychologists, journalists. We've had them all in our program. So there are no restrictions, very important, on the type of bachelor degree that you have. It's also very important to understand that we do not have a pre-master. So regardless of what bachelor degree you have, you can enter the program without a pre-master program. We do have some admission criteria, admission requirements. Students need to have a creative attitude towards science and research. They need to have some affinity with academic research, and they need to be able to speak the English language as is tested by an English test. But also, you need to have some basic computer programming skills. Now, realize that not everyone has these skills, but if you do not have these skills from your bachelor program, then it is possible to obtain them by doing an online course of roughly 21 hours, maybe a little more if it's difficult for you. But it's an online course that you can do. It's offered by University of London and Goldsmith University. It's this course. It's called Introduction to Computer Programming, and it teaches you from the ground up basic computer programming skills. So if you do not have basic computer programming skills already, it is possible to do this online course in roughly 20 hours of work, and with a certificate, you can show, if you show us a certificate, you have met the admission requirements of having basic computer programming skills. Finally, realize that every applicant into the media technology program needs to have a matching interview. It's a personal interview that we conduct online with people from the program, that you conduct with people from the program, and it's really to talk about your fit in the program, your match with the program. Well, basically the media technology program is a wonderful place, I think, to study, but also Leiden is a wonderful place to study. Studying in Leiden is a special experience. It's a relatively small town, very safe and very comfortable, very student-oriented also. Not only that, the Leiden University is a very broad and renowned university. It has many, many different departments, and we as the media technology program are very open to you exploring different fields at Leiden University. And lastly, the Netherlands is a very open and welcoming environment for students to study. It's very culturally open, it's very socially open. It's something that I'm sure you will enjoy. Well, that leaves me with nothing more than to thank my colleagues here, Edwin and Heide, and our student, Zoe Breed, and to thank you for watching this presentation. My name is Maarten Lamers, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope to see you here in Leiden at the Media Technology Master of Science program. Thank you.